Confidently controversial. Confidently controversial. Confidently controversial.
And we're here on Confidently Controversial. I'm one of your hosts, Emily Paul. Our other host with me today is...
Kim Tweed.
Kim Tweed. Hi, Kim.
Oh my goodness. You think this is the better opening than the last one?
So guys, we started an opening before this and it was like, hi.
No, it wasn't. You
Lots
were just
of
caught
silence.
off guard and you didn't feel good about your part of it. I felt great about mine.
Oh, I'm glad you felt so great about it. I think this one was better. So hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Confidently Controversial. We're excited to be here with you today. We're going to talk about a movie, as we always do.
Yeah, we are.
Don't know what that movie is yet. I'm excited to learn what it is.
Are you?
I am.
Good.
I always am. Whenever I don't have to be the person who's picking the movie and doing the research, it just frees up so much of my mental space for the week, because when it's my turn to pick, I spend a lot of time during the week thinking about it.
I spend a lot of time too. It's very hard. It's very hard to make the final choice.
It is, because it's like, it's
There's
a movie.
So many.
Plus
there's so many to choose from.
So many. Plus it's a vibe. There's a lot going on in a choice selection. And there's so many good movies and you just don't even know which one to pick. And I feel like sometimes, and also with a lot of these movies, we legit have not seen in years and years and years. So it's like, well, I remember this one part of it that I liked, but it could really be a shitty way to spend 90 minutes.
For sure.
Yeah.
And this might be.
This might be. It certainly might be. But before we get into all that, how are you doing?
Oh, I say this every week. I'm fine.
Well, you guys, there's something I want to talk about.
Oh, no.
And it's something that we had said we weren't going to talk about on the podcast. And Kim, it has to do with, it's got to do with the weather.
Oh, no.
And, you know,
please don't.
Kim, a lot of people say, a lot of them are school teachers, elementary school teachers, and they're from the 80s. And a lot of those teachers in the 80s said that March, it comes in like a lion. And it comes out like a lamb.
Comes out?
It comes out like a lamb. But right now we're in the lion.
Yes, I guess we are.
We're in the lion. I don't like it. It's like cold and yucky and gross and it rains all the time.
Yeah, I
hate it.
All the time.
It's the lion.
Yeah, I'm kind of offended if I'm a lion, I gotta be honest, because it's kind of like, I don't understand why.
Who said this first?
Yeah, like,
Who
why was this a thing?
Why was it every every bulletin board in our youth, it got to be March, it's like, February's over. Those presidents are coming down.
Well, that's the funny thing. We talked about the February billboard.
Right. The hearts are coming down. And next, what comes up on one side is going to be a lion. On the other side of that bulletin board, we're going to get out a lamb.
The same lamb.
The same lamb.
Laying down lamb. With its little legs tucked underneath of it.
It's a little lamb.
And its little face to the side. Just staring at you.
That's right. Yeah. I don't like any of that. I don't like March as a month. In general, I'm not happy about it.
All right, well.
And it's not even part of the whole April showers. It's just March comes in like a lion, out like a lamb, and then we're into the whole April showers, bring May flowers.
And then there's nothing.
And then there's nothing.
Then we don't have anything else to talk about with the months. We're
Nope.
just like, okay, it's warm again.
Yep. Stop talking about it.
Right. Let's just be happy and live our lives.
That's right. They don't have a fun rhyme for the fall.
No, they don't have a fun rhyme for any other month.
Any other time of the year. It's like all of a sudden, like February's done, and then maybe it's because it's like winter's over, so we're so excited for it to be summer. It's like we need to have these like little rhymes and shit just to get us to summer.
Well, yeah, I do think that, but I also think here's a theory.
Okay. Hit me.
March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb.
It sure does.
April showers bring May flowers. June, it's the end of the fucking school year. Those teachers are done with bulletin boards. So they did not look up what the rest of the rhyme is.
They didn't need a rhyme. They were like, fuck off, kids.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. School's out for summer.
Right.
We'll see you next year.
Our bulletin board in June.
Flag.
It's only going to be up for like 14 days.
I feel like it's Flag Day. Isn't that what they always did?
I don't know. I don't know if they did a Flag Day billboard. They probably just did an end of the school year billboard.
And then they took all those kids who were born with summer birthdays and they put all their names up on a bulletin board.
You know what's cool? My niece, her birthday is in August, and her teacher called my sister and was like, "Oh, tomorrow's her half birthday."
I had this idea. I pitched this for my son, whose birthday is also in August. And I was like, "Oh, it's your half birthday. I'll send in some cupcakes." And my son was like on the fence about it, but then my husband was like, "Don't do that."
Oh yeah, the
Don't do
teacher.
that.
And my sister was delighted because normally she wouldn't get to celebrate a birthday at school. So her teacher figured out when her half birthday
I love that
is
teacher.
and called and said, "Hey, if you want to do something, we're going to celebrate Augie's birthday tomorrow at school."
Yeah.
Right?
That's great. That's what they
know.
should do.
It's lovely.
That's what they should do.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, I think my husband's just swole because his birthday is on September 2nd.
Yeah.
So he never really got like it's like not even really the summer.
Plus, people are probably like, "Here's your back to school clothes. Those are your presents."
Right. Here's some pencils. Here's some
Right.
school supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't even really like get birthday parties because everyone's too busy with getting ready for school, or you haven't even gone back to school yet. So how are you going to get those invites out to anyone?
I will say though, like my niece's birthday that's in August, she gets like this big party.
Oh,
in
I've
the
been
back.
to it.
It was like a big backyard party. It's humongous. And my poor nephew, his birthday's in February, and everyone's like, "It's too cold," so we don't really do anything.
Well, I tell you, your niece's birthday, because I attend said birthday party with my children every year, as we are fans of your niece. And her birthday is a couple weeks before my son's birthday. And we go to her birthday party, and my son's just like, "Well, where's my birthday?" Like, he sees all the presents she gets and like this big party and everything. And we just don't.
She's also
get
one
that.
of the most delightful present openers that's ever been born.
Oh my gosh, you want to give this kid presents
Right.
just because you want to hear her when she's just like anything that you give her, she's like, "Oh my God, this is just the best thing ever." Like, it could be erasers. It literally, you could get this kid a pack of erasers and she would be like, "This is the kindest, most thoughtful gift that anyone has ever given me." And it's so genuine too.
Yeah. It's pretty
awesome.
great.
Yes, she's awesome.
She's delighted by things.
She is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've talked about the weather.
Yes.
We've talked about summer birthdays.
Sure.
Should we talk about a movie?
Yeah, let's talk about a movie.
All right, let's do it.
So, oddly enough, this movie came out in the summer. Well, look at that transition.
Look at that.
Yes.
It's like we knew.
Okay, so don't look at my screen or don't look at my business, Emily. Stop
Okay, first of
trying
all,
to-
I'm not looking at your business.
I was looking at my business and it makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, man.
All right. So this movie came out July 13th, 1990.
1990?
I'm staying.
You're
with the
just
late-
in the 90s,
I'm in
man.
the 90s now.
Okay.
Now, I know there's a lot, but for some reason this movie came into my brain this week and I couldn't let it go.
Okay.
And then, oddly enough, I was listening to a different podcast and they referenced it.
Oh, so
While
it
I
was a
was
sign.
driving, thinking about what movie to do and was teetering back and forth, it was mentioned. And I was like, oh, this is a sign I have to do this movie.
The universe tells you things
Yes.
sometimes, so we have to do this movie. Okay, I can't wait to hear what it is.
Okay, so it was filmed in July 1989.
Okay.
And it was actually a movie that was really panned by the critics. The critics did not like this movie. And, they get the movies first.
Sure.
So when it finally came out, they were really not expecting it to do well at all.
Okay.
It was a really unexpected success at the box office. And then it ultimately became the highest grossing film of 1990.
So the thing I'm thinking about is if it was 1990, I was 13 years old in the summer, and I didn't have anything to do except go to the movies. So we live, as we've talked about before, we live down the shore. There's a lot of little shore towns. So in the summertime, there's just the thing to do is to get dropped off in one of those towns and you wander around and you go to the movies.
Sure.
So whatever this movie is,
You probably saw it in the movie theaters.
I definitely feel like I probably saw it in the movie theaters, although
I think
that
it's
was kind of
rated-
young.
I think it's rated R, so you may not have
You
seen
don't
it.
think I saw it in the movie theater?
I don't know. Maybe you did.
Okay.
I remember this movie being a really big deal.
Okay.
And I remember when it came out, it was just, it was everywhere and it got talked about so much. And I think I was too young to understand exactly what it was about or the like the true plot of it or anything like that.
Oh, I have no idea what this movie is.
Ultimately, it grossed $505 million.
Wow.
Which was great because it only had a $22.5 million budget.
Holy crow. What is this movie going to be?
It had 5 Academy Award nominations.
Wow.
For Best Picture. Best Original Screenplay.
Okay.
Original Score.
Okay.
And I only wrote down 4 for some reason. Oh no, and editing. And then the person starring in this, one of the people starring in this movie won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
Best Supporting Actress.
Best Supporting Actress.
I'm like all over the place. I have a million different movies in my head. Give me more.
I'm going to give you
I
more.
have no, but I don't think nothing is. It's not. I don't know what it is yet.
Oddly enough, this movie is directed by a gentleman. His name is Jerry Zucker.
Okay.
And his brother is also a film director. But Jerry Zucker was mostly known for comedy movies. He directed Airplane and Top Secret and Ruthless People.
Oh, these are all my husband's favorites.
But this was his first drama film. And then after this movie, he did go on to do a couple more movies. One, First Night.
Oh, is that with Heath Ledger?
That's what I thought too, but I don't know that it is. Heath Ledger came to my mind as well.
I think
but
it is. Is that the one with like the rock and roll? Or no, that's A Knight's Tale.
Okay.
First Night. Okay.
And then
anyway.
a movie called Rat Race, which I remember.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I saw that in the movie theater as well.
Yeah. So, the writer was named Bruce Joel Rubin. He also, I believe he won the Oscar for the original screenplay. And he was not excited about having Jerry Zucker direct. He wanted someone like a Stanley Kubrick to direct this movie.
Hold it, wait. I have a question. This
sure.
is a drama, you say.
This movie...
And it's a rated R drama.
I'm going to tell you what they classify this movie as, and it might give it away.
Okay.
It's classified as a supernatural romance film.
A supernatural romance film. Oh, I need more than that. Okay. I don't know yet.
So, Bruce Joel Rubin, the writer, he had ended up having dinner with Jerry Zucker. And after the dinner, he just found that Jerry Zucker was deeply philosophical. And he was like, okay, you can direct
I hate these
movie.
people. I don't know. That whole comment, I'm just like, would you ever go out with someone and have like dinner or something and be like, come away from that conversation and just be like, I found that person to be deeply philosophical.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, God.
And then, let's see what else I can tell you.
Without giving it away.
Oh,
man. Supernatural love story.
Yeah, supernatural love story. Okay, so this might give it away. So ultimately, the writer, he wanted to tell a story from the ghost's perspective.
Oh my God, I almost picked this movie last week.
No way.
Is this Ghost?
Yes.
Oh my God. I started doing the research.
Really?
I almost did this movie last week.
Weird.
Because
Patrick
Swayze. And we've been talking about Patrick Swayze and his beautiful, beautiful singing voice.
She's like the wind
through my tree. She rides the night next to me. Sorry.
Close to me.
But I did a lot of thinking about this movie and just how, like, I had totally forgotten about Whoopi Goldberg and her being in it.
I know.
And I had
for some reason, like, so obviously the choice, like, you're thinking of Patrick Swayze, the choice is to watch Dirty Dancing, which we will at some point.
We must.
For some reason, this is the movie that I needed to watch this week.
I'm so glad that you picked this because honestly, I've really been wanting to do this one too.
Okay, weird. So it stars Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, Whoopi Goldberg, and Tony Goldwyn.
Okay.
And when it was released, I told you it did really well, but it actually ended up becoming the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time.
Like still?
No.
At the time.
At the time.
I don't doubt that. I mean, I
did see it in the movie?
I did see it in the movie theater and I cried.
Okay.
I remember being like, I was probably, going through some puberty.
Yeah.
But I remember I remember it being very moving with Demi Moore.
Sure. But I also find it, looking back now, and I think this is part of the reason I wanted to watch it, is there's ghost sex.
Well, it's
Right?
Whoopi Goldberg. So it's a
Yes.
it's a little lesbian.
Ghost sex.
Lesbian ghost sex.
Right.
Right. They
So-
quickly transitioned from it being Whoopi Goldberg to being,
Yeah, but it's Whoopi Goldberg.
yeah, that's what's
Right.
happening.
And that's fine.
Sure. But it's not, it is, you know, it's, what's his name? It's the ghost.
Yeah.
It's the ghost.
The ghost. So, obviously, this movie also features one of the most iconic moments in 90s cinema
100%.
with the pottery wheel.
Oh, my love. My darling. Oh, my God. What a fucking thing. I can't believe we're going to watch this movie. I'm so excited.
I'm good. I'm glad.
What was the podcast where they mentioned this?
My Favorite Murder.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
It's on the tip of everyone's tongue.
So the scene in this, obviously iconic. It was a big deal at the time. It brought Unchained Melody, which Emily just sang, to number 4 on the Billboard charts again. And it's been parodied in
Everything. Yes.
including the following year it was parodied in the movie Naked Gun 2.5.
Oh, gosh.
Which was directed by Jerry Zucker's brother, David Zucker.
Okay.
So he kind of like did a little dig
Okay.
at his brother there. But I thought this was funny. There's a 2010 episode of Community that contains a pottery class instructor who admonishes the class with, "I will tolerate no recreating, whether it's ironic or sincere, of the Patrick Swayze / Demi Moore pottery scene in Ghost. I've had to adopt a 0 ghost tolerance policy. If you so much as hum 3 notes from the Righteous Brothers song, 'With God as my witness, I will come at you with everything I've got.'"
Okay, well, I have to tell you. So, as you know, my children, that's like, I literally, when I left my house today, Community was on the TV.
Right.
Like, they love it. So, I have seen that episode very recently, and it's funny in a million different ways. But it's one of the things I was actually just thinking was, I don't know that my kids they don't get that.
No,
they don't know
not.
what that is.
No. It's not as much parodied as it once was.
Because it was everywhere. And I feel like you had Demi Moore. She had that haircut.
The haircut was very famous.
Yes.
And also, because this movie but previously she'd done a lot of movies and they did okay.
Yeah.
But because this movie was such a big deal, it ultimately allowed her to become the highest paid actress of all time.
At that time. Well, she was a big deal. Like, Few Good Men was like right after this,
Few Good Men was right after this, as was Indecent Proposal.
Yes. I've never seen that.
Oh, I did. I think I saw that in the movie theater.
When you were little?
I wasn't little. I think it came out in 1993. So I was like 16.
Okay, but still.
I still don't understand. But she ultimately, in 1995, she got paid an unprecedented $12.5 million to be in Striptease.
Oh, yeah.
Which I never saw that.
I never saw that. I have no desire to see that movie. But good for her. Get that money, Demi.
So do you want to hear some other people that almost starred?
As the Demi character?
As all of the characters.
Yes, please tell me.
So the director really didn't want Patrick Swayze. Oh, no, maybe there was the writer. One of them didn't want Patrick Swayze. So they went and saw him in the movie Roadhouse. They went to the movie theater. And basically, whichever one, the director or the writer, was like, absolutely not.
No, that's a terrible movie.
Over My Dead Body is this guy being in the movie. But they let him audition. Mm-hmm. And he did such a good job during the audition, and it like made them cry and everything like that, that he got the part. And he ultimately fought for Whoopi Goldberg to get the role, which won her the Oscar. She credits him with getting her the Oscar.
Let me just tell you something about Patrick Swayze, as I've been thinking about him a lot. That guy was so freaking talented.
He was.
We did not deserve this man.
No.
Like, first of all, amazing dancer. He was a professional dancer before any of this. Then he starts acting, and he's great.
And he can sing.
He can sing so effortlessly.
I also read that he just loved pottery. He did pottery. He was a black belt in karate.
I'm just not surprised by any of this.
And he was an accomplished horseman. Whatever that means.
Okay, first of all, beautiful man on top of it. Mm-hmm. Nobody had anything bad to say about Patrick Swayze. Did anyone have anything bad to say about Patrick Swayze?
I don't
say something bad about Patrick Swayze.
I would never.
We just saw him in, we watched Donnie Darko, and he's in that, and he's kind of funny in that.
Right. He was named the sexiest man alive right after this movie came out, 1991. He was sexiest man alive.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in 2008, he was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he died about a year later.
Yeah, I feel like it was really quick. I feel like it was like you heard he had cancer, and then next thing you heard he was dead.
Right.
Yeah.
So before they cast Patrick Swayze in the movie, considered for the role of Sam was Harrison Ford,
Okay.
Michael J. Fox, Paul Hogan again. What was that guy doing?
He had a good agent.
Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, Kevin Kline, Alec Baldwin, and Tom Cruise. Bruce Willis turned down the role
Because he didn't want to work with his wife.
He did not understand the script, but he later called himself a knucklehead for turning it down.
I'm sorry. You gave me your cough.
I did not. Michael J. Fox thought the film wouldn't work. And actually, that was a comment that came up a lot when people read the script. Even Demi Moore was like, this is going to be a mess.
Well, I've heard other actors talk about that. Like, you get a script and even if you're like, this sounds like such a great story, it could just be a piece of crap at the other end of it. Like, I've heard Mark Hamill, who's Luke Skywalker, talk about them on the set of Star Wars and just all like looking at each other like, what are we doing? What is this movie that we're in? And then it's Star Wars. Yeah. Like, you just don't know what, and again.
And especially imagine reading the script, reading something that's like, okay, then the ghost becomes the psychic and they make sex out while doing pottery.
Do they have sex or they just make out?
I don't know.
They snuggle a little bit.
It's implied.
I think they canoodle. They don't have sex. They can't.
Can't
they? She doesn't. She can't.
We'll find out. Okay.
Okay.
For the role of Molly, who's Demi Moore, Michelle Pfeiffer, Molly Ringwald, Meg Ryan, Julia Roberts, and Nicole Kidman were considered.
Wow, they were really like getting good people for this movie. It was out there.
And then for Oda Mae Brown, who's Whoopi Goldberg, Tina Turner and Oprah Winfrey both auditioned. But the producers initially were not interested in casting Whoopi Goldberg, but then Patrick Swayze really advocated for that to happen.
Wow. Go Patrick. I love him.
All around, I told you this movie did super, super well. It did amazing overseas. It sold 51.4 million tickets in the United States. It was released on video and Laserdisc and sold a record number of videos, like 646,000 videos. Which broke the record set by Die Hard 2. And rental numbers grossed for another $40 million. So this movie was hot.
Yeah, I very much remember going to see it. I remember the part with like when the demons come, the ghouls.
Yeah, I remember
that was a little creepy.
Scary.
It was a little scary, and I remember telling my mom about it and being like, "Yeah, there was a scary part."
Right.
So yeah.
Roger Ebert, our bestie.
Okay. What did he say?
He gave Ghost 2.5 out of 4 stars.
Wow.
Yeah, and he didn't
get it.
Didn't care for it. I mean, I could read you his whole thing, but he didn't care for it, obviously. No. And a lot of critics did not care for it. It did not do well critically.
I feel like it's that kind of movie. It's just like a romance, like a cheesy romance.
Yeah. A lot of people thought it was too schmaltzy at the end.
Sure.
Too sentimental. They did ultimately, which I bet is a hot mess, make a stage version called Ghost, the musical.
Oh my God. I would give anything to see a production of Ghost, the musical.
And then recently announced in January 2023, it was announced that Channing Tatum, he has a production company. You know who he is?
I know who Channing Tatum is.
Sorry, you looked at me like you didn't.
No, I'm waiting to hear what you're going to say.
So he owns the rights to this movie.
He's going to redo it.
He wants to redo it to produce and star in it.
Why? I think that's so stupid. It's like the movie's fine. Yeah. You don't have to remake it.
There was a consideration of making a TV show of it, which...
What's going to happen?
Right. What happens in the second episode?
Is it wacky hijinks?
Right.
Ghost comes back. He's like, let's have sex again with this lady at this time. Let's get a man in the mix here.
In 2010, there was also a Japanese remake that featured a female ghost, and it was called Ghost in Your Arms Again.
Aww.
One of the funniest things that I thought, that I found when I was researching was the fact that because Patrick Swayze, his surname rhymes with crazy, he's been featured in a lot of rap songs.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Swayze crazy.
Because you can rhyme those two things together.
Okay.
And there's I'm going to try to rap again, and it's going to be good.
Okay.
So there's a song called The Symphony Part 2, which features the line, reach for the pistol and you're crazy. Try to blast and I'll be spinning that ass like Patrick Swayze.
Nice.
And then eventually the word Swayze became associated with his ghost character. Like they became interchangeable.
Okay.
And it became like a slang for gone or leaving. And on Tupac,
Okay.
he had a song where the Notorious B.I.G. raps, "That's why I bust back. It don't faze me. When you drop, take his Glock, and I'm Swayze."
Oh. This is great.
Yeah. And also it was featured in the 2005 SNL digital short, Lazy Sunday.
Yes.
Throw the snacks in the bag and I'm ghost like Swayze.
Sweet.
I know. Which I feel like he deserves this.
He does.
He deserves
I'm happy.
this.
That's a fitting tribute
Yes,
to
yes,
a
yes.
man as wonderful as Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. So
Where is he buried?
I don't know.
You didn't do much research, did you?
On where he's buried? No, I didn't. Because I'm not a creep.
I'm going to go visit his gravesite one of these days.
And also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the EGOT because while this movie did not make Whoopi Goldberg an EGOT, it helped her on her way to becoming one.
She's got it. She's an EGOT?
She's an EGOT.
What'd she do in theater?
She won a Tony in 2002 for Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Good for her.
Look at me, doing my research.
You did. You're thoroughly researching Kim.
She was the first Black woman to become an EGOT, and she's one of only 17 EGOTs.
Yeah.
But there's two types of EGOT, too.
I didn't know that.
I learned. A competitive and a non-competitive EGOT.
Okay.
And a competitive one is where you actually have to be nominated for the award. A non-competitive is
like lifetime achievement.
Lifetime achievement or a legend award or something
Okay.
like that. So there's more of them. But
Yeah.
they only count the true EGOTs as the people that were in the competitive category.
Okay.
And some famous EGOTs include Mel Brooks,
Okay.
Audrey Hepburn,
Got it.
Mike Nichols,
Okay.
Andrew Lloyd Webber,
Okay.
John Legend, Jennifer Hudson,
Interesting.
American Idol.
I know. I was like literally just listening to her sing. She voices a character in the movie Sing. And she sings Carry That Weight by the Beatles on the soundtrack. And it's so
good.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Viola Davis.
Oh, she's great.
And then Elton John. Those are some famous ones that I thought you'd be interested in.
I was. That was
Yeah.
great. That was great research there, Kimmy.
Thank you. See? Don't tell me I don't do my research.
Where are we going to watch this movie?
When?
Where? Like, I don't even know where it's available.
I don't know either. I mean, I assume it's available. I did not check.
Oh, that's going to be bad if it isn't.
We'll be back sooner rather than later if it's not.
Man.
But anyway, do you have any questions?
No, I'm so excited to watch
You
it.
ready to
Let's go
watch
do it.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah, let's do it.
Controversial. Confidently controversial.
Are we back?
Yes.
Oh my God, what a movie.
I don't even know how I feel.
It holds up in a weird way.
It's not a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie at all.
But it's a bad movie. Like, I don't understand why I liked it.
I bet many audiences felt the same way.
Yeah.
Because it's really cheesy.
Yeah.
Like in some parts. I mean, his character's name is Sam Wheat.
Wait.
Wheat. But it's like, I cried.
Yeah.
I laughed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Solid.
It's a solid movie. Well, okay.
Okay.
Break it down.
Yeah.
We have some really great, like Whoopi Goldberg.
Amazing. Yeah.
Like, she's really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I would say that, like, Patrick Swayze, as you aptly noted, he acts surprised for a lot of this movie.
He's got the O face for a lot of this.
He reminds me of a young Corey Haim. A lot of his acting is
a lot of open mouth acting.
A lot of open mouth acting. A lot of the acting is like like very hard in the face. But I mean, it was a really good movie. I mean, I think that it definitely made me think a lot about things.
Oh God.
Like death and life and
we
and
made
all
a
the other stuff.
pact that
whichever one of us dies first is going to come back and punch the other one.
Go sponge.
Go sponge. And I'll be like, you son of a bitch.
Paul, you son of a bitch. Well, let's talk about that for a second. Okay. So like I said, this movie.
Do we need to recap?
I mean, do we need to recap? I mean, God, this movie made $500 million. You saw it. If you're listening to this podcast, you saw this movie.
I remembered it, a lot of it, very well.
Yeah, this is not a movie that I watched over and over again.
No.
And yet, I really remembered a lot of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It made an impact.
It definitely made an impact. I mean, I remember, like I said before, I remember being young and crying when I watched this. I definitely, I can't say enough good things about Whoopi Goldberg in this movie.
No, she is the star.
She is the star. She's so good in it.
Yeah,
so good.
Very good in it. She deserved that Oscar.
She did.
And turns out when you're like in your 30s, your skin is amazing.
Oh my God.
I didn't remember that.
Whoopi Goldberg's skin in this, guys.
Yeah.
So just
you know who
beautiful.
else's skin? Good?
Who?
Tony Goldwyn.
Okay. Another one. So Tony Goldwyn's the bad guy in this, and as you guys remember, it's in the movie, he and Sam, who's Patrick Swayze, are like BFFs. They work in the same place together, but Sam's a higher up guy. Like, he has an office.
Right.
Carl does not have an office.
Carl Bruner.
But they're all friends with each other, and Carl's like, he's figured out. It sounds like he's gotten in with some drug guys or something.
I don't know where you got the drug part of
because
this.
on the phone, because when he's talking to Willie Lopez, the bad guy, the guy who kills Patrick Swayze, who I don't know, like he's just
is he a bad guy or is he just in a bad situation?
He's in a bad situation.
Right.
Poverty. We're going to talk about some social determinants here, but I think he like says to him, hey, like these guys, if we don't give these guys the money, they're going to come. But like, these are bad guys. These are drug dealers. These are like, so it makes me think he's in bed with like maybe some of the mafia. Like, he's definitely gotten tied up with some bad elements. Because he's not getting that money. Like, he's not getting that $4 million. He's getting like $800,000 of it, is what he says.
Right. It's going to a bank in Nassau.
Yeah. So it's going to these like bad guys.
Sure.
But anyway, so throughout this, he's a little sweaty and a little stressed because he's dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
But oh my God, he's a handsome man.
Yeah. So, okay, Patrick Swayze, very big deal, very handsome, very cut. But I think that you don't like, I remember at the time being like, this guy, get out of here.
Yeah.
But equally as cut,
I might like Carl. Like, I mean, let's put aside.
Emily was kind of rooting for that guy.
I mean, I felt his stress.
You did.
He was very stressed out. I connected with him over the stress.
Yeah.
I think if we take them out of the movie,
Uh-huh.
I'm going with Carl.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, I mean, that guy's still alive. Patrick Swayze is not. So.
That guy was just in Oppenheimer, so he's doing okay.
Yeah.
He's doing okay. Okay. So Patrick Swayze gets killed. Mm-hmm. There's a whole pottery scene. Pottery scene happens.
Everyone knows about that part.
I know. Well, the pottery scene, all Kim and I could think with that. First of all, we were very uncomfortable.
Yeah, obviously.
You knew that was going to happen, guys, right? Second of all, their hands are like covered in clay. Like dirty, covered in clay.
1 second.
1 second. They turn around and like they're all handsy with each other, and their hands are perfectly clean.
Yeah, but it's not. There's not even a trace of it that you would think like maybe it got wiped off. Maybe her boob is now covered in cement.
Now, cement.
What is it called? Pottery.
It's clay.
I assume it hardens fast.
Sure, well, believe me, you may. Demi Moore was not wearing any kind of bra throughout this entire
she
movie.
Could use some cement bras.
She could use some clay bra happening. But then when Sam gets killed, a couple scenes later,
right. Mm-hmm.
Which I do remember that as being. It's well directed.
It is.
It's really, and I mean, even though the CGI, which was bugging Kim out throughout the movie, the CGI is definitely, the effects are not
they're
as good. They're definitely dated.
Channing Tatum, you can do it. You can step up that CGI.
Yeah, but I feel like it's still good. The performances are good.
Well, there's that second where you see Sam, you hear a gunshot and you see Sam run after the perpetrator.
Yeah.
and you are like, oh, he's running after him, so he's okay.
Yeah.
And then you realize he's not okay.
He's not okay. But I had a lot of questions about that part. So it happens. He's standing there with, again, the major face acting from Patrick Swayze in just shock and disbelief.
He can act with his eyeballs.
He really can. He really can. But like, he doesn't even try to lay back down into his body.
Emily's very upset because she feels like, okay, guys, listen, if you die and your ghost immediately pops out of your body, you got to fight it. You got to lay back down.
At least try to
you
attach
try
it.
to get back in.
Like, attach it.
Wiggle yourself back into that body.
Right?
Don't assume that you have to be a ghost. Try to get back in.
You should try.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're like hovering over your dead body, it's like, get back in.
Right.
Like, that should be your first instinct. Like, I want back in.
Right.
But that's not Sam. Sam's just like all shocked and disbelief.
Well, it's not any of the people that die in this movie. None of them go back to their bodies.
No, they're all like, I guess I'm dead now.
Right.
I
Don't
guess
accept
that's
it.
And then, like, he does it, like, first of all, he's dead in New York City. He runs into, like, a handful of ghosts. I feel like there would be a lot more ghosts in New York City.
Well,
from different eras.
But I guess the only ghosts that you can see are the ghosts that have not been taken to their final resting place yet. So, like, when the good ghosts die, they presumably go to heaven. When the bad ghosts die, they presumably go to hell. And some good ghosts have unfinished business. And they need to finish that business. And so those are the only ghosts that are floating around, the unfinished business ghosts.
Okay. Now let me ask you some stuff.
Okay.
If this happened to you, if you had unfinished business, okay, you didn't try and get back into your body,
right.
Or you could not for some reason. Mm-hmm. Would you, like, go to your own funeral? Would you go back and, like... Because these ghosts have infinite freedom. Like, he's running around in the subway at all hours. There's nothing to stop you from doing anything you wanted to do.
Does he get tired? Does he have to sleep?
He doesn't. He doesn't. He can do whatever he wants to do. He's a ghost. Like, would you go to your funeral and see who was there?
Maybe. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm that kind of person, for sure. I'd be like, oh, really?
I just don't know if I would. I mean, yeah, of course I would.
Yeah.
But I also
then I would feel bad about it in my ghost afterlife.
I would. I'd be like, I don't know. Nobody really showed up.
Nobody really came. I guess everyone hated me.
Yeah, I would be so embarrassed.
Right.
I would be at my funeral, like, way embarrassed. Right. And then he's there watching his wife, his ex-wife, or I don't know.
No, what?
What? I don't know. Demi Moore. He's watching Demi Moore.
They're not married.
They're not married. But she's, Carl's making moves.
Yeah.
Carl's moving in.
His live-in life partner, Demi Moore.
Yes. Who, they love each other. Mm-hmm. But he's making moves on Demi Moore, and Patrick Swayze's sitting right there, like, watching the whole thing. Why would you do that?
Yeah, so this brought up another topic of conversation, but I guess if we've resolved it because Patrick Swayze eventually went away. But, like, what if your ghost boyfriend who died.
Okay, my ex-boyfriend, got it.
Who died.
Okay.
He had unfinished business.
Okay.
But it's like years. It takes years and years for the unfinished business to be resolved.
Yeah.
And you've decided to move on with your life.
Obviously.
However,
yeah,
your former ghost boyfriend is just still there.
Still hanging out.
Like, what do? Do you tell him, like, listen?
I mean, I probably don't know he's there. I'm going to assume he's not there.
Right, but probably. What if he's made it clear that he's there?
Like, he's punching me in the face every once in a while.
He's like putting pennies all over the doors.
He's putting pennies in my hand.
Right.
I feel like I would be like, listen, you gotta go.
Uh-huh.
Like, I understand you have unfinished business, but I'm finished with it. So
you would break up with your dead boyfriend.
Break up with my dead boyfriend.
Your dead ghost boyfriend.
I mean, like, I loved you. And when I die, I hope to see you again. But right now, I'm with Charles. And Charles and I...
Charles is in charge.
He's in charge. And I need you to leave.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I'd probably be real freaked out. Like, there's ghosts in my house.
Right.
Would you come and hang out with me? If you died before me, would you come seek me out?
Yeah, of course.
You would?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd probably. I would.
Yeah.
But then I'd feel like, oh, I'm sorry. You'd pick your nose or something. I'd be like, oh, God, I should never have come.
First of all, I've never picked my nose in my life.
You've never picked your nose?
I probably have, but for the purpose of this conversation, let's say I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to be appropriate and come over like at like 3:00 in the afternoon when I'm pretty sure that you're like fully dressed.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to, like, yeah.
Right.
No, we don't need that to happen.
We like to keep our friendship at the same level it is now.
Right. Like,
Completely uncomfortable around one another at all times.
I would, like, I'd go to the office.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'd, like, sit in a chair in your office.
And then finally I'd be like, Emily, I have work. Wait, why are you dying? You're dying while I still have to go to work?
You're still going to work. I'm dead. And you're like, I mean, you still have to go to work.
That sucks.
I know.
That's so young.
Yeah, it'd be funny. And then every once in a while, like, someone would come into your office and they'd sit on me and I'd be in the chair.
And I'd be laughing and you'd be laughing.
And it'd be funny because I would totally take over their body in that way that Patrick Swayze does. And they wouldn't know it. They'd be like,
right.
what just happened?
Right. It's like, I don't know.
You just started acting real weird.
Do you think there's a ghost?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. Although, you know what I didn't enjoy about this movie?
What?
Demi Moore's hair.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how you felt about the haircut.
I mean, okay, Demi Moore, beautiful. But
Yes.
she is really pushing the limits on what a beautiful person can do.
But I think
Like,
it's
she's
not her
challenging.
choice.
She's challenging the world to say, I defy you.
Uh-huh.
I defy you to say I'm not beautiful.
Right.
I'm going to wear the worst clothes,
Yeah.
which aren't her fault in this movie.
No. I mean, and that's a lot of her clothes were like 80s holdover clothes.
But you don't think it was her decision to have short hair? Like, you don't think she had short hair?
No, I think that it wasn't her decision.
No?
No, I think they wanted to try, because she was she was an artist. They had to make her like, she didn't wear a bra
She did not wear a bra. Oh, my God.
or underwear apparently.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Yeah.
When she's pottering.
Pottery sex? No, God,
Right.
jeez.
And when you're a pot.
When you're a pot? What?
When you're
Take
doing,
a second, Kim.
When you're doing the pottery,
Yes.
the wheel has to sit
Oh.
between your knees.
You probably wear some underwear.
You should wear underwear. I mean, you don't want to get any rogue clay up in there.
No. No, I mean, just for sanitary purposes, you
Right.
should probably wear some underwear.
Maybe that's part of her art. She infuses it.
I did not like the hand gesture you just made right then, my friend. No, that
Okay.
was not good.
All right.
All right.
How do you feel about, like, what do you think about the whole thing, like, that he doesn't say I love you, he just says ditto?
Typical.
I know, but that was, like, a big deal thing at the time, do you remember? And it was, like, so romantic.
What, that he said ditto?
Yeah, like, don't you feel like that became, like, a thing?
I don't remember it that very much. But I do remember that whole thing of, like, you can't say I love you, but you really do love someone. Here's the thing. This is what I'm going to say. Just say it.
Grow up.
Like, grow the fuck up. Like, is it that hard to tell someone that you love them?
Right.
Just say it.
Yeah, just be in love.
Just be in love. If you love that person,
Right.
just say it. It's so funny because we've been with our respective partners for a long time
Right.
now. So, like, that whole part where it's like the first time you say you love you, I love you, is so
Long ago.
long ago that I don't even remember it happening. Like, it must have happened for a first time at some point, but I don't remember what
I
it was.
do.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Is it like a nice story?
I just remember that I feel like when my husband and I started dating, like I think it was pretty quick, and I think both of us were a little apprehensive about it.
That you fell in love so fast, so hard, so fast.
So fast and so hard. that I think that we were like kind of like beating around the bush a little bit with it, you know what I mean?
Oh, like you both meant it, but you
Yeah.
were like a little worried to say it
To
because you were
say
both
it.
like,
yeah. And then and we were long distance too, so I think it was over the phone.
right, which is in a lot of ways more intimate. Like you're having all those conversations.
Yeah. Well, that's back in the day. Well, I mean, when you would talk on the phone forever,
Oh God,
because you
I know.
couldn't do any other form of communication.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember those times for sure. I don't recall the first time my husband and I said it to each other.
Really?
I really
well,
don't.
because you guys dated so young and then...
Actually, no, I do.
Aw.
I remember when he said it when I was younger, when we were like 18 or something.
Okay.
But he was on a lot of painkillers because he just had his wisdom teeth removed.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's even more true.
Is it?
I think so, because
Aw.
he wouldn't let himself... He probably didn't want to say it in his regular life, but the drugs made him weak.
The drugs did make him weak.
And he was like, I gotta say it. I love you, girl.
Oh, no, that's not how he said it, but
No?
it was really cute. It was cute.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I don't remember any other times because, I don't know, like the later times when we started.
Sure,
going
well,
out
that's
again.
yeah.
I guess.
You loved each other the whole time, Emily.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you would be disappointed if you had unfinished business, like it would be some sort of like ghost job that you had to do?
I mean, I'm not a vindictive type.
Right.
And I feel like if someone, I could see staying if, like...
Staying.
I
You
was-
don't get a choice.
I feel like he had a choice, didn't
You
he?
do?
He could have got, the light came for him the first time he died,
Uh-huh.
but he didn't go.
Oh, okay.
So he did have a choice. He
All right.
decided to stay. He wanted to hang out with Molly. I mean, there's part of me that's just like, I'll just go in the light. Like, once I'm in the light, like, it's like a blink of an eye. They're all going to be dead soon, too. I'll see them in that light. Like, that would be my thought.
Okay.
It's just like, okay, I'm going to go in that light. I'll see you soon. And it'll all be okay.
Almost Dead Emily is very brave.
But I mean, I guess there would be a part of me that would want to hang out. Like, I don't think it would be about the unfinished business of like vengeance or something.
Right.
I think it would be like wanting to see my kids or
Sure.
like something like that.
Now, do you think you would like procrastinate the unfinished business?
Oh, like I would just be lazy about it?
Yeah, and just be like, well, I could stay here longer and watch everything that's happening.
I feel like it seems real boring being a ghost.
Yeah,
Like,
because you can't sleep.
You
like
can't
we said.
sleep. You can't
don't
really
eat.
You don't eat. Like, you don't have that. I guess you could watch TV, but you don't have control of the
Well, your
channel.
whole life is like a TV.
Yeah.
You're just
You
watching.
You're
life
just
happen.
watching everything happen
Right.
around you.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, still, it's probably better to watch an actual
TV
TV
show.
show. Like, that's what I do. I just go to the movie theater and you could just watch all the movies all the time.
free,
For
yeah,
free.
sure.
There's probably a lot of ghosts in the movie theaters. Think about that the next time you're there. A ton of ghosts just there like, I got nothing else to do.
So bored.
It's so boring being dead. Or you could like pick someone to be like, oh, I wonder what's going on in their life. And you just follow that person home and you figure,
watch stuff that goes on with other people.
yeah, just to like,
You're a weird ghost.
but not like,
You're a creepy ghost.
no, I feel like it's more for the hot goss. Like if there was somebody,
Yeah, sure.
I'd be interested, or like I'd sit in on like a meeting that I wasn't supposed to be in. I'd be like,
That's why your ghost life is boring, because you're still going to meetings.
well, what would you do? Would you go into the light, or would you?
Yeah, I think I'd probably be lazy about it.
So you'd stay on Earth.
Yeah, I would stay because I think your initial reaction would be to stay. You'd be nervous and scared,
Okay.
and the comfort would be with the people that you know, so you'd want to stay.
Well, you want to get first. Okay. First, what are you gonna do, Kim?
Punch you.
No. What's the first thing you're gonna do?
Try to get back into my body.
Yes. We have to keep saying this so we remember when
Okay.
it happens.
Okay.
Okay.
So try to get back into my body.
Okay, that's the first thing you do.
Second, punch you.
Second thing, you're gonna find me. You're gonna punch me in the face.
Right.
Okay. Third
Third.
thing.
Is finish my business.
But what could possibly be the business?
I don't know. That Sam didn't know he was going to have unfinished business till his best friend turned on him and killed him.
I just think it's 'cause it's a movie. But like, what about that subway guy? Like, what's his unfinished business?
He's insane.
Was he going to get saner by hanging out longer? He doesn't seem to be.
I don't know, Emily. I don't know.
I don't know either. But I'd like to think I would just go into the light.
Right. And there's also...
And I hope to have that option.
You do?
I do.
Yeah.
Not like those fucking shadow monsters pulling me
Right.
down into hell. That's
but
scary.
That is really scary. That part is scary.
It
I mean,
still is. They're like
yeah.
groaning and it's scary.
I think I read that they slowed down the sound of babies crying to make those noises.
Oh, that's so scary. I hate that. I didn't like those sounds.
Yeah, but they were like shadow monsters for sure.
Yeah.
But the good thing about that was that when you're a bad person and you die, you just go you get taken away immediately. So any ghosts that you see are good ghosts.
I know. That is a great observation. So guys, you don't have to be scared of ghosts.
No, they're good ghosts because the other ones get swept away by the shadow monsters post haste.
But do you feel like the ghosts that stay, because that insane guy, like he wasn't exactly good. I mean, he wasn't bothering anybody necessarily.
Right.
He just didn't want any other ghosts. Like he didn't seem to have a problem with the humans.
Well, that was his train.
Okay.
That's where he lived.
I gotta get out of my house.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's a good observation. Are you scared of ghosts? Like, is that something that you were scared of as a kid?
Yeah.
Are you scared of them as an adult?
Yeah.
Me
I'm
too.
scared of the dark.
Yeah.
I'm scared of ghosts. I'm scared of actual alive people. I'm scared of animals.
Okay. Valid.
I can freak myself out so fast.
Oh my God, me too.
And like you'll see me run faster than I've ever run up the steps and stuff like that. Like
it's like a jolt. Like do you have that?
Yeah,
where it's just like a jolt. You're like,
goes
whoa!
I'm just like I gotta go. Yeah. When we had when we lived at our other house, it had a long hallway
Oh no.
on the first floor. And it terrified me.
Yeah.
Because it was too, like, you
It
were
was
in
too
it
long.
for too
Yep.
long.
Yeah.
And it was just like, there's so many options for something to get you. And why is the hallway unsafe? The rooms are
Yeah, I don't
safe.
know, but hallways are scary. I think of that scene in Poltergeist when she's running down the hall and it gets
Yeah.
longer. I lived in this, when I went to college, the dormitory was this building that was, it used to be it's in Philadelphia. It's a very old building, and it used to be a school or home for like deaf and dumb children
Oh, no.
who weren't treated very
Right,
well,
sure.
most probably.
Yeah, it's probably a horrible place.
Right. So have you ever been to, what's the penitentiary? Eastern State
Eastern
Penitentiary.
State, yes, I
So the
have.
same person that designed
Oh.
the building. So I went to the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. So the main building there, on the back end of it are one set of dorms.
Okay.
So I lived in those dorms my
Oh.
freshman year there. And there was a hallway like that just had all the doors. And at night, I swear to God, it would seem like it got longer when you were trying to go down it. Like it was terrifying.
Here's a good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you've ever seen a ghost?
Well, Kim, it's funny you asked that question. You know that I think I did.
I do. Tell the people where
Okay,
it was.
so one time, Kim and I were in Disney World at like a conference.
Yeah.
And we were staying at the Grand Floridian.
Right.
And it was like a hotel room that had, if you can imagine, like the 2 queen size beds. So we're both sleeping in 2 different of the queen size beds. And I woke up, and it was like my eyes kind of opened, and I swear I saw like a child at like a little girl at the end, in between the beds, and it was just this like realization of I totally knew it was a ghost,
Right.
And I remember just saying to you, I just saw a ghost. And you just started, you're like, what?
Right. But you were serious. I remember you being really serious about it. And I was like, what are you talking about? But like, and then every now and then, like every couple of years, I'll be like, remember when you saw that ghost?
I swear I mean, honestly, it was probably because it was like a weird in between waking and sleeping
Maybe
thing.
you did, though.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was like a weird in between waking and sleeping, and it was very much like fully just
That's
someone
a ghost.
there.
Mm.
But I get freaked out because someone died in my house that I
Right.
live in.
Yeah.
And I definitely get a little worried about that sometimes.
Right,
and my
right.
nieces will not stay at my
Yeah.
house because of it.
Well,
Yeah,
people died in a lot of places.
it's true. Has anyone died here?
I don't know.
Okay, let's not ask.
Nah, we don't want to know. The Ouija board.
We don't want to find out.
When my first job out of college, I was in the office either late or I think it was early in the morning, and it was dark, and I felt someone put their hand on my shoulder, and I physically felt someone put their hand on my shoulder and turned around because I remember being surprised that anyone else was there and there was no one there. And that is the one time in my life where I really feel like, because I felt it. I know that someone put their hand on, like, I know it for a fact that there was something that touched me.
Right.
And I just remember it very well.
What did you do?
I probably just went back to my office. Like, I remember just being like puzzled and just being like, what? Like, because it didn't make sense to me because it was so real.
Right. I've definitely had those moments where, like, you hear something clear as day.
But I can turn that into something else.
Yeah.
I feel like hearing is your weakest.
Yeah.
Weakest sense.
Yeah.
It fools you a lot.
I just feel like I've had those moments where I just will freak myself out so much that I will just get in my head and be like, I can't go in there. Like, I can't walk into a place because I just freak myself out so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I guess not all goes to Patrick Swayze.
Sadly, no.
Well, maybe, I mean, he is sadly passed away.
But I bet he's a good ghost.
I hope he learned his lesson and went into the light.
I hope he tried to get back into his body.
I hope he tried, and he had cancer. I don't know if it was going to work. Not. But, yeah. Okay.
Well, anything else?
No, I was so glad we watched this movie. It really,
me too.
God, it was great.
And guys, if you think like, man, that movie was cheesy and I never want to watch it again, like, it is, but it's all right.
Don't go the rest of your life and not watch this movie again. Like, I feel as if you've seen it before and you were like, I kind of liked it, just watch it again.
Yeah, they loved each other.
They loved it. And we cried. I cried.
Yeah.
I was crying at the end.
Yeah, the end is sad. And it's just, and there's no, like, you know how some movies, it's sad at the end, but then they give you a chance to come back up.
Yeah. No.
This doesn't.
No.
I
mean, and it was funny because we're both like laughing and crying. I'm just like, I can't believe I'm crying at this movie.
Yeah.
But it was nice. Yeah. Watch this movie again. Take a minute. Let this be the sign unto thee to go watch Ghost.
Yeah, it's been in the universe this week for some reason, so do it.
Yeah.
And it's free on HBO Max.
There you go. If you pay for HBO Max, it's not really free, Kim.
Oh, well. It's on HBO Max, guys. All right, so this one is pretty straightforward as far as the spaders go.
You mean it's Spader time?
It sure is.
Spader time.
It is.
Okay, what is it?
So Demi Moore.
Yes.
You know her.
I do.
Short haircut.
Looked like Vinny Del Pino for this whole freaking movie.
She was in St. Elmo's Fire with Andy McDowell.
Yes, we watched that movie.
Yes.
In fact, if you haven't heard that episode, you should probably go back and hear.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, so Andy McDowell, you remember she got harassed by Kerbo in St. Elmo's Fire. She was also in Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Oh.
Which, as we've said, probably 6 dozen times now, James Spader was in.
He was.
So that's that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
James Spader, why aren't you finding us and being our friend?
That's right.
It's gone on for almost a year now with us talking about you. And the fact that you haven't reached out is making me really sad.
And all these fake people called James Spader's real account and stuff like that, they follow me. But it's never really you.
No.
I just would know.
I know. I'd be so excited. Yeah. Oh my God. How amazing would that be?
It would be.
But think about from his point of view, if he suddenly stumbles upon this like weird account that has all these pictures of like the connections between...
It would be just as confused as our other followers.
That's true. Very true.
So yeah, speaking of which, you can follow us on Instagram.
You should follow us on Instagram.
Confidently Controversial, where we post pictures of James Spader a lot. Plus, some other stuff.
Sure, we do that.
And TikTok. Emily makes these wicked TikToks.
I make some fun TikToks. I need to make more.
At Confidently Contro. And so you should do all those things. You should listen to some old episodes. We're in the 40s now, guys. There's plenty of back catalog to listen to.
Go listen to them. Listen to them. Yeah, we're getting to the end of our first year, which has been really, really good. So,
And what do you have to tell the people?
Like, listen, guys. If something happens, right? I don't want it to happen, but if something happens,
try to keep your wits about you.
Keep your wits about you and be confident about being a ghost, okay? Confidently try and re-enter your body. If that does not work for you, go find a psychic, re-enter theirs, okay? And the other thing you should be confident about is because we didn't even talk. We didn't pause. We didn't even talk about Demi Moore and the Whoopi Goldberg make out scene.
They didn't make out.
They didn't make out.
They just hugged.
But anyway, if you do, like, and if a ghost asks you, like, can I enter your body? And, like, you can, like, I need to hug my wife for one last time. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be controversial and backstab your best friend for $4 million.
I'll kill you.
I'll punch you. I'll ghost punch you.
So hard. Thanks, guys. We love you.
Goodbye.
Ditto.
Confidently controversial.